The issue's still there. Let's see if we can hear it and see it maybe. It's a clunking. Next step is to remove the caliper and see if that is doing anything. Same test again, minus the caliper. It's going to be a bit harder to feel without the front brake though. It sounds to me like either there's no oil in the forks, they've kind of exploded and they've gone shot, but normally you'd see drips, or the actual top end, the yoke part, something's come loose. So I've pulled all the adverts at this stage because you just couldn't sell a bike with that clink, whatever it is. What this is probably going to be is a front end strip to see what's going on. I feel like it's potentially fork oil related, but again, I've never ever seen a situation where there would be no signs of it. Never. There's no way oil would have left that wheel, and it's not like it's being cleaned over time either. I've seen it 3 or 4 times this year and I've never seen oil coming out of the forks, so I don't know. In the background just here behind me I've got the second CBF 125. This guy messaged me a few days ago and just said my rear brake keeps seizing, it's a drum brake, and can we have a look? And we've seen that before with drum brakes, so it will be actually quite quick and simple. And Dylan's in the background, you can hear him, he's just doing the indicators and the brake lever for his 125 here. We were looking at this last week, me and Gary were like, let's just bend it, Dylan was like, no. But he's got a brand new lever now. What are you doing? Look at this guy, he just turns up. What are you doing? Just takes over. Dylan was doing fine. It should just slide out once. You've got to remove the bolt fully because it's a retaining bolt, yeah? And then it should just slide out. Yeah? You got it? Is there a nut on the other side? There might be. So guys, look, yep, yep. And the owner of the bike himself has done the work here. Now normally it's this pin that seizes. Now people get to this stage and they don't know what to do with these. You just pull them out, look, just bend them out. And then this bit seizes, yeah, look at that. Rock solid. So all we'll be doing is loosening that up, putting some sort of grease in there that won't get on the pads, and chucking the pads back in. So to get this out, we'll need to take this off on the front, and then we'll pull this through, clean it, bit of sandpaper, bit of grease back in, and that'll be good to go. Not much footage because the guy doesn't want to be on camera, and that's fine. And this is what we do at the garage. We help people out. And funny enough, Dylan's adjusting his rear brake as well as we talk. So quite cool. 2 CBFs at the garage today, and this thing is doing what it was doing anyway. It appears to need new shocks, which is a right pain.
The next day.
Hi everyone and welcome back. One of my biggest annoyances with motorcycle channels is when they start messing with cars. When I'm watching a channel that generally saves and restores bikes, I can't stand when they switch over to cars, which a few of them do. That's not what I'm doing. This is my sister's car, and sometimes charity does start at home. She failed her MOT this week on the lower arm passenger side because of the ball joint, and the 2 shocks, apparently the 2 shocks are misting or leaking. Her quote was about £550 to get it repaired, and when she told me that, I nearly had a heart attack, because in the past you would not pay that. You would pay about £100 aside for the shocks, and maybe 100 quid for the lower arm. So you'd pay 300 max. And funny enough, John, who you've seen on the channel many times, he owns the Triumph T120, failed his MOT on the lowering arm. He's in Bristol, and his quote was £75 to change it. So absolutely shocking with prices nowadays, which is why I do this here and try and help people out. Yesterday when I was working on the CBF with the nice young man, he was really nice guy actually. I always get a bit nervous about new people coming, but he really fit in well. He found the problem on this, nothing to do with the shocks, it was the engine mount as well. Little hero. Someone brand new has messaged me about his CBF needing work. Now, I generally, of course, try and help people as much as I can, but I don't want to take on too much to the point where I don't finish my own stuff or the charity stuff as well, except doing this with them is the charity as well, so it's a balance. But you know, I'm not really going to film this. I'll show you guys bits and pieces. I'll show you the car and the front bumper has to come off and stuff, just out of curiosity. But today on a Sunday, it's my day. I've invited no one to the garage at all. I actively asked Sultan not to come because I know I'm going to be under a car on stands. I just don't need annoyances in the background. And we're going to kind of do some charity at home stuff. Yes, so it'll probably be a really boring video, but I'm going to be under here for hours, so I'm getting comfortable. Long old process, guys, but not shocking. The only thing I've done wrong is I should have torqued these top bolts before doing anything else, because the shocks spin with it. Now there is an Allen key in the top to secure it, but I haven't got anything else where the Allen key would go in on top. So I'm going to get the bottom arm done. The bottom arm, you have to take off the whole subframe, but the bottom arm is this one here. Apparently this ball joint's gone, although it doesn't look like it to me. I better check the other one just in case. So this is the arm we're changing here. Yeah, but you have to remove the whole subframe. All of this here, it's all bolted on before getting to the nuts for that. And then of course the shocks have an oil. Now they do have an oil, but I mean, I'm not a car expert, but I'm not sure if that's enough to worry me. And also the shocks weren't bouncing out of place, so I think they're being a bit picky there, but they are the pros, so I'll let them get on with that part. So we've got out the lowering arm there now. It took a lot of work. Funny enough, the torque gun wouldn't pull out the bolts for that, but me and Rajab together with an extending bar managed it slowly, very slowly. I was just sitting here chatting to Rajab because we've just had lunch, and he said last month or the month before he got a quote, not for real, he was just curious. He was passing a mechanic in Hackney somewhere, and he said he got a quote for his KTM service, and he was quoted about £300. I mean, that's ridiculous. I just don't get it. My concern is that nowadays you've got different types of people on mopeds in London. You've got I don't want to kind of, how do we word this without insulting people, but you know, we may have more middle and upper class people using mopeds to get to work, and we may have people who wouldn't have in the past. And that mechanics are now just throwing out these numbers because no one really knows what goes on with a basic oil and air filter and spark plug change. But 300 quid, I can't, my mind can't do it. The parts cost 20 quid, Rajab, before. Yeah, boy. You know, what would you need? Oil, spark plug, air filter. Yeah. The parts on that, probably 35 quid, mate. Yeah. And actually, mechanics in the past would spray all your levers, and they'd do kind of other bits and pieces as well. Top up your coolants if needed, blah, blah, blah. These guys don't even do all that. So, 300 quid, I can't do it. Well, the reason this conversation started is because me and Rajab were like, we're getting a lot of people now watch kind of a video or two and then come down and get free servicing, and actually the kind of people using the garage, I think, is right. They're kind of young students, and I think actually it's the right idea. But the other part of me is a little bit concerned about if I keep offering and throwing out completely free servicing for people, that it's not realistic in real life for anyone, for us or for them, because one day they're going to have to get a proper service. So what the conversation is, do we charge people a few pounds for even just, even 20 quid, for example, just for a bit of, I don't know, material, sprays, WD-40s, etc. I don't know. And the other thing we were discussing was, do I put out an advert on Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace offering weekend services at reasonable prices? 100 quid. If you can get a 100 quid service from me and save 200 quid, then it would be well worth it. But we're then getting into business territory. So I've done no filming on purpose because this wasn't a how-to video. But Rajab,
Stressful video.
he's stressed. We got one side done, brand new, completely, no issues. And this side we just can't get off. Look at this nut. Look, we have hacked it. We've mangled it. Tomorrow I need to get a rotary set, basically, and cut it off properly. But because it's Sunday today, we just can't. We couldn't find a set today. So this side's done. That's great news. That's the lower arm as well, by the way, and the suspension, the shocks. So that's all good. But I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow, and that's really annoying because I was meant to be meeting my brother tonight and spending a few days with him, but I think it's probably off the books now at this stage. Yeah, but I'll get it finished tomorrow. I always get it finished. It's only literally this nut here, and the problem is the original spins with the shock. And yes, you can put a Allen key in there, but it was rounded. It had been corroded so badly. And there's loads of other things, do this to the wheel and do that. But the reality is sometimes they just get stuck and need burning off or cutting off or whatever. Now, I've been using a drill, but I just need a rotary now. I just need some cutting blades. I just have none left. And yeah, I'll get it done tomorrow. The new shock's over there. But yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have got this done without Rajab. So Rajab was king there. I need to fix the Piaggio fly and all, don't I, Rajab? No. Tomorrow will be this, mate. Tomorrow will be this. Although this will be finished tomorrow. Yeah, so that's it. So things, we started at 10. It's now 5:30. I expected to get it all done within maybe 3 or 4 hours. I haven't got it all done, which is really bloody annoying. But also the reality sometimes.